What's up, y'all? My name is Mallman3000, and today we are talking about faith. But before we do that, this isn't a playlist all about vision, so click right here to start at the beginning of that playlist. Thank you very much. Faith is a touchy subject. It is a subject that I have been dancing around for quite a while because I'm not sure how my audience, if I even have an audience at this point, would take it or handle it. In my video titled The Quest, I talked briefly about nihilism and its effects on the world today. We're going to be elaborating on that point a little bit in this video. As I described in that video, nihilism is the belief in nothing. It's the belief that nothing matters. It's the complete absence of any faith at all whatsoever. Nihilism is what keeps people in bed at 3 in the afternoon. It's what keeps you in your job that you absolutely despise. It's what keeps you living in your parents' house at the age of 45. Nihilism is what keeps us stuck in the status quo by deluding us into believing that it isn't worth chasing something meaningful. We are deluded into believing that it isn't worth chasing success. Nihilism is every excuse that you give yourself. I can't go outside or work, dude. I got depression and anxiety. I need to stay in bed all day, man. Working out is for try-hard egomaniacs who only care about their looks. Why would I care about anything like that? Why would I care about anything at all? I could just sit in bed all day and watch Netflix all day. I could play video games for 12 hours. If this sounds or has ever sounded anything like your inner dialogue, you are tainted with nihilism. Now, we're all tainted with it, so don't worry that much about it. It is rampant in today's day and age. In fact, I would wager to say that it's hip and trendy. This video is dedicated specifically to curtail the symptoms of nihilism. Part 1. My first name is Christian, so naturally you would think that I am a Christian. And you would be right, but it wasn't always the case. When I was hit with nihilism, I was hit hard and early. I was in 4th grade, which is about 9 to 10 years old, when I started giving up, essentially. This is about the time that I discovered World of Warcraft. It would be completely naive to blame a video game on my disillusionment with the world. To be totally honest, the video game is merely a symptom of the deeper core issue, that being nihilism. The veil of childhood innocence dropped, and what I found is that reality is bleak. It's ugly, and I did not want to see it. I much preferred to stay in my childhood fairyland where everything was happy and fun and Gucci all the time. But the reality of the world isn't quite that nice. Before I continue any further, I would like to make a disclaimer. I believe in God, and I'm going to talk about God. If you do not believe in God, that is totally cool. I am not particularly interested. The point of this video is not to convert you, but to get you thinking. At some point, I started questioning my belief in God entirely. I had to go to what was called CCD, which is an after-school program for Catholic children. Essentially, you're going to school after school. And I pretty much already hated school, so having to do that twice in one day sucked. Not interested. So the fact that I had to go to school after school did not get me enthused about learning about the Bible or God. Which is a shame to me now because there's actually a lot of interesting stuff in the Bible. I find now the Bible to be a very fascinating subject. Simple fact is I didn't care. Things got a lot worse when I learned about atheism. Yeah, I had a field day with that one. I thought I was so smart, man. I thought I was super clever. I would get into arguments with people I knew to believe in God, and I would try to convince them that God wasn't real. I would try to drag them down to my level of faithlessness. In reality, all I was really doing was spewing just a bunch of talking points that I had heard on the internet. I didn't actually know a damn thing about what I was talking about. I was angry, man. I just wanted to spew out my vitriol and hatred and bring people down to my level. The most twisted part is that I was trying to convince people to be atheist. I was trying to destroy people's faith. It's messed up. It is twisted, man. I was staunchly atheist for a few years up until senior year of high school, when I started calling myself agnostic. And agnostic essentially means that you're not one way or the other. You don't disbelieve in God, or you don't disbelieve in a higher power, but you don't 100% believe in it. You think that there's something greater out there for sure, maybe, but you don't know. In a sense, we're all agnostic. We don't know for 100% fact what is truth and what is fiction. We don't know for a fact what is out there. But that's what faith is about. It's just believing that things can be better. That's all it is. And I definitely needed it. I was tired. I was tired of being angry all the time. I was tired of being sad and lonely and depressed, and I wanted my life to be better. I couldn't shake from myself the core of all of my issues. It wasn't until really recently that I started fully believing in God again. What I have finally learned and fully understand is that nihilism will stick with you for the rest of your life. It is something we will be fighting for our entire life. The fact is, life is hard. Some would say that life is suffering. Unless you have faith, unless you have hope that life can actually get better, you will find yourself going down a spiral of meaningless suffering for the remainder of your existence. For some of us, like myself, it requires hitting your lowest point. It requires hitting rock bottom for us to learn that we are absolutely powerless over our lives. We are completely powerless over our existence and what happens to us. We like to think that we're in control. We really do. We really like to think that we are in control of our destiny. But in all reality, we are foolish, stupid, petty, disgusting, resentful creatures. It's true, man. It is absolutely true. We like to think that morality and ethics are just inherent, comes as a packaged deal with humanity. If you believe that, you are wrong. You're straight up wrong. Wrong. Nah. Nope. It's not a debate. It's not a conversation. You're wrong. If life is meaningless and nothing means anything at all, then there is no reason that anyone should just be able to run around and do whatever it is their hearts desire, for good or bad. If nothing means anything, why aren't people running around and stabbing each other in the chest all the time? God knows I would probably be doing that. Running around like a little psychopath, you know? The reason we aren't running around like a bunch of little psychopaths and doing whatever we want isn't because we are virtuous, but because we are cowards. And we mistake this cowardice for virtue. This is a concept that Jordan Peterson talks about all the time. One of my favorite quotes from him is, "A rabbit is not virtuous because it can't do anything. All it can do is get eaten. We are the rabbits. As of right now, we are the rabbits. We are totally powerless." Don't get me wrong. Some people are just built different. Some people don't have a particularly strong faith in God and are just strong, optimistic, and good-hearted people. They represent like 0.000000000000001% of the world's population, aka not we. That ain't us. Nope. If this is you, however, man, congrats, dude. I'm envious, man. I wish I could just be naturally optimistic and happy all the time, you know, just believe that things are gonna be good, you know, having confidence in myself. That's good, man. I'm happy for you. For the rest of us, it's time to do some introspection. Part 2. When I initially started thinking about God and his existence, I thought about it in a more palatable form. I thought about the universe. I thought about the cosmos. I thought about the force. It's a more ethereal concept. They seemed cool. They are naturally interesting to me. When I thought of God, I thought of a buff, white-haired, white-bearded dude chilling out in the clouds, judging people for being gay. I'd always thought of Jesus as some dude in the middle of the desert who had some medical knowledge, and someone stumbled across his story and conflated it. I believe that I, myself, and many others get caught up on these small, insignificant details that may seem significant at first glance because it challenges your worldview, but in the grand scheme of things, they don't really mean anything. Let me provide an example. In the Bible, it says the earth is 10,000 years old, and that drove me up a freaking wall, man. It drove me up a wall because my preconception of the world was that the earth was like 4.3 billion years old or something like that. I thought the story of Adam and Eve could not ever possibly be true in any sort of way. That's because, one, the theory of the origin of species, what most people would confuse as evolution, I find to be pretty compelling. And two, the idea of generation upon generation upon generation of like incest really grosses me out and disturbs me on a very deep level. Because that's what it would have been, you know? Adam and Eve, there's only two people, you know, they have to procreate somehow. Not that it matters, I'm kind of going on a side tangent right now, but evolution and the origin of species are two completely different things. The theory of evolution is a theory, not a hypothesis. It's a theory, meaning we have observed and deconstructed this idea so thoroughly that we can prove without a question of a doubt that it is real. Evolution is real. That's not a debate. We are not debating that. All evolution is, evolution means that life changes over time, over a very, very, very long period of time. It's an indisputable fact. Two, the origin of species is what people think of when they hear evolution. The origin of species is what gets people in a tizzy. The origin of species is a hypothesis about how humans came to be as they are right now. And the theory goes that humans evolved from apes. Once again, evolution, a theory. It is a fact. It is a mechanism we have observed in nature, is real. The origin of species is the hypothesis of how humans came to be. And the hypothesis goes that humans evolved from apes. That's the debate. That I'm not super concerned about talking about. All of what I just said is technical jargon and it doesn't matter. Forget about it. It is complete and utter distraction. If something like how old the earth is, if a concept or an idea like where humans came from is preventing you from having faith, the core of your issue hasn't changed. You're still dealing with nihilism. It took me a very, very long time to realize that. Jordan Peterson talks a lot about the Bible, but he talks about the Bible as a metaphor. He breaks down the meaning of it. And what I have found from listening to his lectures is that it's brilliant, man. It's pretty cool. It's compelling. It's interesting. It is engaging both in an intellectual and philosophical way. I would be a fool and an egotistical maniac to pretend that I have even a fraction of an understanding of the entire Bible. The important thing is that I now see the value in it. I see what it is meant to do. The Bible is like the OG self-development book, like the first one. It's crazy. The story of the Bible is literally about the fall of humanity and its slow redemption over time. It is about people starting off pretty similar to us, you know, just wandering about, not knowing what's going on, and then slowly improving and getting braver over time. That is humanity's story, man. It's compelling stuff. God is telling us what many other self-improvement YouTubers are trying to tell us. Get off your butt and do something with your life, man. Make something of yourself. The world's big, man. Enjoy it. Yeah, you're gonna suffer a little bit, but that's the point. It wouldn't really be worth doing if you didn't have to suffer for it. It's crazy. Crazy stuff. Part 3. Okay, so, what's the point? The point is that until I discovered my faith, I was a complete and utter nihilist, which made me a loser by default. When I discovered my faith, I had hope. I had hoped that my life could actually get better. I had hoped that I wouldn't spend the rest of my life waiting for the weekends so that I could drink it away or waste it playing video games. When I discovered my faith, I had hoped that I wasn't going to be a lonely loser for the rest of my life. Once I started having faith in God, I started having faith in my vision. I started recognizing and believing in my vision. What I once thought as pointless daydreams to get me through the day turned into a blueprint of my potential future. What was once a completely hopeless delusion of grandeur, what became a stupid pipe dream of becoming a self-help YouTuber, became a potential reality, but only when I discovered my faith. Faith is the foundation for a vision. Visioneering is fundamentally a religious, spiritual, it's a faith-based book. A proper vision is far too monumental for any of us to carry out on our own. It's daunting. That's why I think a lot of people don't work towards their dreams. They don't work towards a vision because they understand how monumental it is. We as humans are completely powerless over reality. People say the only thing you can control is yourself, and as it turns out, even that isn't 100% true. We have discussed habits, the basal ganglia, and executive functions of the brain on this channel before. I would say a lot of people are slaves to their stupid, useless, distracting habits that they create while they are in a state of nihilism. When nothing means anything, there is nothing preventing you from chasing stupid, instant gratification behavior. I'm talking about drinking on the weekends, I'm talking about spanking the monkey, and I am talking about playing World of Warcraft. I'm talking about playing video games for 24 hours straight. When you have faith, you actually have a reason to fight against these impulses. You have a reason greater than yourself to fight against these impulses. When you have faith, when you have a vision, and you have faith in your vision, you have a reason that is greater than yourself to fight against these primal impulses, these primal desires for instant gratification. When you have faith, these whispers, these thoughts of, screw it, we can't change anything. Why even bother? Why would we try and change? That sounds like hard work. We're never gonna get six-pack abs, so why not just go to Burger King real quick? Suddenly these thoughts aren't all-consuming. With faith, we have the ability to say, no, nah, not today, nihilism. You ain't getting me today. Nah, I don't care about you anymore, nihilism. We're through. I don't need you anymore, man. I'm moving on. I want to have a better life. And if that means getting rid of you, so be it. When we have faith, suddenly the impossible becomes possible. There's a reason to get out of bed in the morning. There is a reason to get up early to work out. There is a reason to seriously start considering a career change. With faith, life becomes meaningful. Faith is a choice. Faith is a choice. The voices of nihilism will never go away. But we can start to build the muscles to ignore that voice. We can build the strength to ignore nihilism. What's up, y'all? If you're watching this right now, it means you watched this video all the way through, and for that, I am truly grateful. Thank you so much. In the description, you will find some resources that I believe will be incredibly helpful to you on your own magnificent journey. These are affiliate links, which means with every purchase made, I get a small percentage. Keeping that in mind, I urge you to purchase these things only if you have met the following requirements. 1, you actually have the money to buy it. 2, you believe you will actually use this. And 3, you believe that it will actually be helpful to you on your journey. Once again, y'all, I would like to thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to me. And as always, I will see you in the next one.